with it 5:31 pi, bringing Pacific people together. It is 20 minutes to 10 o'clock. A Fijian has won top honours in the British Army for his photography skills. Corporal Nacanielu Tanuku, originally from Fiji, has been awarded first place for his outstanding work in the professional portfolio category. Taken during his new role as British Army photographer, the 37-year-old submitted a portfolio entitled Dark Places, which featured a series of 5 black and white images of soldiers during a training exercise. Currently based in the capital, Corporal Tanuku has embraced his new career as a photographer after serving 12 years with the Parachute Regiment in Colchester. After 12 years, he has decided to pursue his love for photography. Nacanielu is on the line with us now, zooming to us all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland, in the United Kingdom. Nisambula Nacanielu, and thank you so much for making time to have a chat with us this morning in New Zealand. But what time is it for you there in the UK?
Kia ora, Bulavanaka, and good morning to you beautiful people in New Zealand. The time now in Edinburgh, it's 20 minutes to 9 in the evening. So we are 12 hours behind you.
Wonderful. It is Sunday evening there, is it?
Yes, correct.
Oh my goodness. What's the weather like there at the moment?
We still got snow on the ground. It's been -2, -1 for the past 3 days. And we've had some snow, very heavy snow. Yeah.
What's that
Still
like?
got some snow on the ground.
What's that like for a boy born in Fiji trying to cope with snow?
Oh my God. The first time I got here, I struggled really, really bad. And it was one thing that I missed was the weather. But now I'm used to it. I'm here 40. I've been here 14 years now, so I've acclimatized, I should say.
With regards to access to the UK through the British Army, for those of us outside of Fiji, how easy is it to join the UK Army, and what's the process? Do you need to go through the Fiji Army first, or can you enlist straight on to the British Army?
Yes, it's pretty straightforward. It's because we are part of the Commonwealth. So we are eligible to join the British Army, and it's just a method of going online, filling an application with the British Army, and then they get in touch with you. As long as you have a valid email address where they can correspond with you, and then it just goes on from there. And then they'll just tell you the step-by-step to take.
Wow. So do they come to Fiji to undertake the tests that you need to take, or do you fly from Fiji to the UK to undergo the testing to see whether you can get into the army?
So I was one of the lucky ones because I got recruited in Fiji, and that was the last drive where the British Army came over to Fiji and recruited us from there. And this was back in 2007. And after that, they've stopped it. And now you have to come over here to do your assessment. And whether you pass that assessment, if you don't, then you just prolong your joining process, should I say.
And how many Fijians do you know of in the UK Army now? Do you have any idea of the number of Fijians in the UK, in the British Army, rather?
I would say a good few thousands. There's
Really?
a lot of us here. Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of people in in the British Army from Fiji. Now, let's go back to the beginning for you. Where did you go up in Fiji, and what was it that made you want to join the British Army?
So I grew up in back in the village in Bau. So I'm originally from Bau in Tailevu. Um, and then I went through tertiary level, and then I went to Fiji Institute of Technology, where I studied arts and design. Um, and then from there, my love for the artistic side of things it started from there. And then when I finished Fiji Institute of Technology, I got a job in this designing company. So it's a graphic designing company, and from there on, they introduced me to a DSLR camera. So that was my job before joining the army. Um, and when I joined, the camera kind of took a step back, and obviously I enjoyed my time in the army. And then towards the end of my 12 years with 3 Para, I bought a DSLR camera, and then I just started again, and I fell in love with it. And I was lucky enough that the army offered me the position to train as a British Army photographer. I'm very fortunate for that.
Wow, fortunate indeed. Now let's go back to 3 Para. How scary is it to be part of the army? How scary is it to go into the theater of war? It would be absolutely terrifying for me. What was it like for you?
Um, and this is one of the reasons it is terrifying. I mean, when I was going through my basic training, even before I joined the British Army, I had the options of choosing what regiment that I have to go with. So in my head, I had an option of either going with any other regiment, but I chose the Parachute Regiment because it's renowned for its professionalism in what they do. And it's one of the toughest regiments to join in the British Army because of its physical demanding. Um, so that's why I joined the Parachute Regiment. That made me do it in the first place. Um, and when we were out in theatre, we looked after each other. But it is fearful, and it is terrifying, and the fear, the unknown territories. But all we had was one another, the guys that we went out with in the ground, and everybody has to be on the same level with the mentality and robustness in order to get through the tasks that we've been given.
And are there any other Fijians or any other people from the Pacific in the parachute regiment?
Yes, there's not a lot, but there's a few of us. There was about 10, 12 people, 12 of us that were in there at one time. And yeah, it's really hard to get into the Parachute Regiment out of the whole British Army. But we have a few Pacifican people that were there. So it was good. It was good.
And in terms of the physical training, how tough is it? I mean, Fijians are renowned for being good sevens rugby players, and that requires a lot of fitness. Do you need to be as fit or even fitter and have strength in other areas of your body that you don't necessarily need for rugby?
Yes, it's. I think it's more training your mindset. It's the robustness of. There's one thing being physically fit, and you could smash out all your fitness and pass all your fitness. But when it comes to being mentally prepared for anything, that's when people fall short, because you have to be physically robust and mentally robust. It goes along together to be in the Parachute Regiment. Um, yeah.
You've been there a while now. How much do you miss home? How much do you miss family?
Uh, yeah, I've been here 14 years now. I do miss my family every time, and I try lately to go back every 2 years and see the family, because when I go back, my aunts, my uncles are all getting old. My cousins that I when I left, they were still, in their prime, are all grown up now. And I tell myself like, I miss out on their life, and I do try and go back every 2 years, which I've been doing since the past 10 years. But the pandemic has obviously thrown a massive curveball, and I can't wait to go back home when this is all over. It'll be the first place I go back to or travel to.
Now, how wonderful has it been to come full circle in your life? You talked earlier about how you found the camera and your love for that, and now you've been allowed to become a photographer for the British Army. I love the portfolio you submitted, which you won the award for. Just beautiful imagery, and it just brings home the reality and the danger and the concentration and the bravery required to be in the theatre of war, at least in the training where you were taking it. Is it
Thank you.
satisfying to get the recognition for having that special eye? Does it require you to understand your subject, to be in their shoes, and for you to capture the mood and to capture the right moment?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to my previous role being in the Parachute Regiment, and I mean, photography can be taught, and you can develop it from just by practicing and practicing and practicing, and you'll get better. But having the knowledge of how the mechanics of how the battle goes, and that's what the Parachute Regiment has taught me. Knowing where to be at the right place at the right time to get that perfect shot, and it's not just that; it's visualizing how it's going to come out at the end of the end product, and putting the emotive content behind it that goes along with it speaks volume.
Now, I don't understand how you go into battle, but as a British Army photographer, do you go along with regiment when they go into the theatre of war to capture the mood? Is that something you do, or is the photography you do only outside of the theatre of war?
Um, no, we that's part of my job. I go and document what the guys are doing at the front line. So when you see videos and pictures of the guys actually right at the front line doing, you know, engaging in war, them images are captured by us as army photographers, and we do both. We do videos, we do stills of photography, um, and yeah, and I think in the British Army to apply as a British Army photographer, you got to be recommended for an NCO. So that's a non-commissioned officer, so either a lance corporal or a corporal, in order to apply for the trade. And the reason behind that is because you've got the experience to be at the front line, to just do and be more situation aware of what's going on around you, and be able to do your job.
What I love about the work that you do is that it brings home to us, those of us who will never be brave enough to put our hands up and put our lives on the line for our countries, the reality of war. Is that part of what drives you to take photographs, to tell the story of your colleagues who put their lives on the line when they go into battle?
Yes, certainly. And images that we take now, it's images that will be remembered in years to come. It'll be in the history. Take for an instance, the images we see out of World War One and World War Two. They were taken by photographers, and we still see them pictures now to remind us of what it was back in the day. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm capturing the moment that we're going through now, and they will be remembered in years to come. And not only that, and I I think for me it comes from a personal experience. It's everyone understand. I mean, as you were just saying, everyone understands what a military personnel does. But me, when I submitted them portfolio, um, I was more onto the emotive content of what our servicemen and women go through on a day-to-day basis, and it's their thinking process, their thoughts, the the fear of the unknown, the missing their family and their loved ones when they're away on operations, and those are some of the things that I was trying to portray in my images.
Oh, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Unfortunately, we're quickly running out of time. My final question is,
No, sure.
what do you miss most about Fiji?
I definitely miss the weather, that's for sure, and I miss my family. Um, so three things: the weather, my family, and the food.
Nacanielu Tanuku, thank you for your time. Thank you for the amazing work that you do for our communities, keeping us all safe. We wish you all the best, and we thank you for capturing the reality of the theatre that is war. We look forward to talking with you in the not too distant future, and congratulations on winning this amazing award.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're listening to Early Edition with Ed, and if you think your job is stressful, just reflect on that interview for a while. So far away from home, serving in the theatre of war, and now capturing that reality for all of us and for future generations. Nacanielu Tanuku. You're listening to Early Edition with ETE 531 PI, bringing Pacific people together. Here is Josh Wawa White to take us to our news at 10 o'clock.